Thank you for joining us, guys. We are in our second segment of the day. Well, Russell Westbrook is no longer in the playoffs. I've seen some tweets where it was good riddance, and I've also seen some tweets where it said we just lost the most exciting player of 2017 in the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
But
because LeBron James isn't in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Westbrook, to me, he didn't have a great week, and it wasn't because he lost the series. Everyone saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It was with the media. He had a real big issue with the media twice. And kind of my thinking is how we saw him in the playoffs,
mm-hmm.
and kind of how he acted with the media.
Mm-hmm.
Does it actually hurt him in the MVP race?
No, I don't think it hurts him at all in the MVP race.
He's just so sure about that.
Well, okay, so here's my thing. I think obviously the better team went on and won. I don't think there was any doubt that Houston was going to lose. Not to Westbrook and
but Westbrook averages a triple double.
Hey, good for you. It got you sixth place in the West. I mean, I'm not saying that the triple double was not exciting and insignificant, but I mean, that's great. But I get it. You were the best player on your team, and sure, for one season, if you're going to go season to season basis, sure, yeah, you're right. You produced the most for your team to where you got him, and you snuck him in the playoffs, and then you shot the ball so many times you forgot you had teammates in the last two games. So I think I honestly am coming to grips now. There's no co-MVP. Westbrook is the overall MVP, but it's not because he got his team to like the semifinals or the finals. No, it's because his team was pathetic when he went off the court when he would go to the bench to rest. That's, in my opinion, why he's going to win the MVP. And plus, Harden, I think, had a really bad game to where, not a bad game, but he wasn't up to himself. And he still had Eric Gordon and he still had Lou Williams that basically won them the game because they're really good shooters. And here you see Westbrook going 4 for 18 in game 4 or game 3, I believe, and basically loses almost every fourth quarter lead that he had, except for one game in OKC, which I kind of predicted that he would go out in 5 games. He'll get you one game, but that's about it. But even with the media, even with the little spat that he had with the media, which I thought was totally dumb on his part, there was really no need for it. And I'll tell you why in a second. I still think he's a lock-in for the MVP. Everyone is saying it, triple-double, all that stuff. But I actually think that the whole spat with the MVP thing, the MVP thing with the media, I thought it was kind of dumb. The question had nothing to do with separating them as teammates or as a chemistry or anything like that, or to divide them. It was a simple question of, hey, when you go off the court, why is it that your team blows the lead? It's as simple as that, honestly, except it was phrased a little bit nicer. And he goes off on the guy, and it's actually, I thought it illustrated perfectly what Westbrook has done all season. He basically goes, hold on, I'll answer this for you. Completely chews the guy out for asking a legitimate question. The guy goes, well, that's great, Russell, but I wasn't asking you, I was asking Steven. And then he goes, next question for Steven. Like, so you take the ball and you take my question? I can't even get a question now? That's what it looked like to me. And I get it, like maybe Russell was wanting to do that and just was trying to find the right opportunity to throw it in there, and he kind of did it on a bogus question, which I thought was in complete bounds. But I still think he's going to win the MVP. I just think that whole media spat thing was out of control, and he's the best player on his team, and he's phenomenal. But LeBron James is still in the playoffs, and Steph Curry, who just completely handed Portland their backside in Game 4, scoring 37 points, is still in the playoffs. I still think those two players are very fun to watch. So it's not like the best player statistically may be gone, but there's still a bunch of really good players left that I'm not worried about as far as not wanting to watch any of them. So
I agree with you. It was a legitimate question. Mm-hmm. It really was. But I understand from the player's standpoint of the reporter is basically asking, hey, your team sucks without Russell Westbrook. What do you think? What's going on? And for Russell Westbrook to constantly get all these questions, it does grind on you. It does. And I get it. Some players handle it better than he did. I would definitely admit that. What it showed me, and I don't think it changes anything in the MVP race. It doesn't. I think he still wins. The reason I was thinking about it was because media-wise, a lot of people might crush him for it. He actually didn't get crushed as bad as I thought he would. And it was to an OKC reporter, which I thought was kind of funny because they've all been all about Russell Westbrook.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of snapped on him. But I actually like that he did snap on the reporter, though. It kind of shows me, hey, listen, he is loyal to this team. He really does care about this team. That's what I took from it. But as you've heard from Colin Cowherd, as you've heard from you and I, loyalty does not win games. It does not. And this is the prime example of why Durant left. He saw there is no depth in Oklahoma City. There's nothing in a game that's going small ball, more shooters. Steph Curry's, Klay Thompson's, Draymond Green, who by the way is 6'8" and he's playing the power forward position. LeBron James. Those are the, everyone knows those names now. What was the tallest guy? 6'8",
yeah.
I just mentioned. No one's going big now. Who is big? Oklahoma City. Steven Adams, Enes Kanter. Those guys are big, and they stay there. No one can shoot. Oladipo cannot shoot. Sometimes he can, maybe.
He's supposedly supposed to be such a good two-way slash guard that he would have made, not made up completely to be, you can get by without Durant, but you didn't lose a whole lot, and you would still get some really good production. And in my opinion, he really underachieved this season. If anything, I was expecting way more from him. And in my opinion, in the playoffs, he just wilted. He didn't even come out. He didn't come out of hiding until Game 4 when it was already 4 games too late. And then all of a sudden he decides to show up. And then he was showing in the 5th game. So
it goes to show you, to me, how little the regular season means. And why LeBron focuses on the playoffs. This also proves it. Because Westbrook was gassed in the playoffs. And it is god-awful to go into every single game and go like, I got to score 40 to win a game. I have to score 40 points every single game. LeBron rested and doesn't play as hard as he does in the playoffs. Okay? I think everyone can admit that's true.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain games where LeBron will come out and he'll play both very well. But he's trying to figure out, he's trying to, get all the cobwebs before the playoffs start. When he rests, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that he rests. It doesn't bother me if James Harden rests. It doesn't bother me if Russell Westbrook rested. Because if Westbrook rested, it might have helped him. This guy is gassed. He's shooting. He had what? At one point we talked about, he had 400 more shot attempts than the second place guy, which was Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And he was only shooting like maybe 42% from the field at that time.
Yeah.
That's insane. You're trying way too hard, and you don't need to. To me, it goes to show you that he didn't like his teammates, that he doesn't trust his teammates. I don't blame him because there's who are you going to pass to?
Right.
But I don't know. This is why I think he's gassed. Westbrook gave it all in every single game. In the playoffs, this is including yesterday, this is the whole series, he shot 22.2% from the 3 line. And that's me highballing it. He shot 22% from 3 in the playoffs to a team where James Harden and Eric Gordon are draining him.
Right.
And then you add Lou Williams. He shot way more than he needed to. There was one game where he only took 1 3. I think it was the 3rd game. And he missed it. And so he didn't. And I was like, you know what? And you know what was funny is he scored 32 points that game.
Yeah.
Hey, that's productive. You don't always have to go for 3s. But when he is going for 3, he's not hitting them. He's not a good 3 shooter. He never has been. Then, from shooting the line, sorry, there's a fly. From the field in all, I put 4 games, it's 5 games. 5 games, he shot 38.2% in all 5 games. That's his average.
That's,
That's not good.
No.
And that's your star player. You don't have depth. You don't have guys who can make a freaking shot. And now you don't have Russell Westbrook, your star player, who can't make a shot. This is why Durant goes to Golden State. I can't win here in Oklahoma City. I'm gone. Serge Ibaka, yes, he was traded, but he was not giving his all anymore.
At one point, this OK team had Westbrook, Durant, Harden, Serge Ibaka, and they had Reggie Jackson at one point. And now he's a backup point guard, but he was the best player on the Pistons.
That's what you call depth.
But here's the thing, though, with Westbrook is he's so competitive, which is phenomenal. That's what you want because he'll never quit on you. But he's so competitive, he even has to outplay his teammates. What I mean by that is even when he had Durant on his team, Durant is a good ball handler.
Yes.
He drives the rim. He can finish with finesse. He can drop a floater. He can dunk it on you. He can pop it out from 3. And for some reason, Westbrook had to also compete with him for no apparent reason. And it's not like Durant was competing with Westbrook like, oh, okay, you're going to shoot a 3 on this drive. All right, next drive, I'm coming back shooting a 3 to show you up. Had nothing to do with that. But for some reason, Westbrook just had to be the best player on the court, which there's nothing wrong with. But sometimes that doesn't mean shooting the ball every time to match your teammate or another team point for point. That just means getting your team in the best position to score. It's not about, sometimes in a team sport, it's not about you, it's about the team. Not saying that, I kind of think that Westbrook is a ball hog. He just so happened to have 10 assists per game. But, in my opinion, I see where Durant left because Durant said, okay, I am going to go to a place where I am not the number 1 guy. I might not even be the number 2 guy. Some nights I might even be the number 4 guy. And Golden State was gracious enough to say, you know what, especially Steph Curry, you know what, I don't care if this is my team or your team. We're a team. We want to win a championship. If you want to jump on that boat, get on now because it's our team. We don't have this or that. And Westbrook here he is fighting a reporter to defend a teammate that is basically he's proving a point that he doesn't let no one answer a question without his approval, and no one gets the ball without his approval. So
so everyone who was crushing Kevin Durant, why is he going? I can't believe he's going to sell out and go to Golden State. This is why. This is what he's seen his whole entire career since Westbrook got there. This is all Durant has had to go through. And you know what? I give it to Durant should win another MVP just because he had to deal with Westbrook. Okay?
To make up for the
he deserves a medal or something. That guy, what he did is he kept that team alive. When Durant left, that's why everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe he leave, blah, blah, blah. Because OKC was in turmoil after that. Because who else do you have? And everyone's like, oh, poor Westbrook. Poor Westbrook, he's the one who put himself in this situation. Because exactly, you know what, I didn't even think about it, but he always competed with his other teammates.
Yeah.
That's like, if you and I went out, and I don't think we do this, maybe I'm wrong, maybe our wives would be able to tell us better. But like, when you and I just talk, I don't feel like we keep talking and go, well, no, you're wrong here because this, blah, 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 blah. I don't feel like we do that. Again, maybe our wives are better to tell us that. But if you do that in your daily life, if you text me and go, hey man, LeBron James missed 6 shots. That's incredible. You're only missing 6 shots in your whole entire game. What do you think about that? And then that's like me going, well, it could be better. I only missed 4 in one game before, and then you go back and forth. Okay, dude, I was just. It's like you're not gonna.
It's like besting yourself for no reason.
You're not making friends that way, and you're making people go away from you. I don't know about you, but if you do that with your kid, you're playing basketball with your kid, you have to let them win sometimes because.
No. No.
No.
Teaches them character.
Teaches them character. Well, okay, Russell Westbrook. No, but I mean,
Yeah,
seriously,
I get you.
There are some things where you have to let your kid win because they have to understand. Okay, you want them to feel good about it. You don't always have to compete. They know you're better than they are, but they want to be able to say, I beat my dad in this.
Yeah.
You know.
It's that pride though that won't let them win. Sorry, that's me.
That's a you thing.
That's me.
All right, good stuff. I'm loving it. All right, guys, thank you for joining us and watching us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Drew Code Sports Talk. That is also our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Drew Code Sports Talk. Thank you.